You have heard for a while now Mike Ryan sort of yawn and say, hey, Boston Celtics, for all this talk of you are a winning franchise, this particular century, you have not done a lot of winning. Doc Rivers is living still off the championship he won when you had the greatest trio in the league. But the Celtics don't merely have 5 straight 50-win seasons and now 12 straight playoff seasons. They also have a front office that's been pretty aggressive the last few years and can be put in the class of the Spurs and Oklahoma City when you're talking about great architecture that's not afraid. Brad Stevens has made a crazy evolution. That town has been very lucky with its executives. Theo Epstein, very young, ends up winning titles with the Red Sox when he's uncommonly young. And Brad Stevens makes the journey from an unusual journey at his age from you could have been coaching all of this, but you decided to oversee it when you could be the beneficiary of everything that's happening here as the coach, but you wanted to be in the front office. And now Sam Amick is reporting they're interested in Giannis, and they are known to have interest and are seen in leagues circles as possible suitors. And that's someone that you would trade a Jaylen Brown for, and how much better are they going to do than a Jaylen Brown?
Do you think they would trade Jaylen Brown?
I wouldn't.
He's
had an incredible season.
Yeah, I'm not sure that they would. Giannis is 32.
Okay, so wait a minute. So how many players are there in the league? I was thinking that there might be 3 or 4 players in the league that you would not trade Giannis for, and Jaylen Brown was not one of them before this season. Now, you guys may have Jaylen. My information is a little bit old in that I was looking at a Jaylen Brown before Finals MVP, who the Heat were able to force to his left and make him dribble, and they ended up completely altering the way that his game was. But yes, I think Giannis is a better player than Jaylen Brown. Obviously, he's not younger than Jaylen Brown. But in order to make contracts work out, I don't think the Celtics could get – do I have this wrong?
You're probably right about that.
I don't think the Celtics could get Giannis for anything less than either Tatum or Jaylen Brown. And the question I'm asking you guys after that is, are the Bucks going to do any better than someone like Jaylen Brown if indeed the Celtics are interested in this?
No, if they put that on the table, that's an easy win for Milwaukee to get Jaylen Brown. Obviously, he comes with a $300 million price tag. And between him and Jayson Tatum, you're talking about $600 million. But they can't have all three. But if you're Milwaukee and you're looking at every package around the league and you're going, Jaylen Brown, who's completely, redone his career from the outset of he couldn't dribble left, and now he was an MVP candidate through the season. That's a big
and a Finals MVP.
Boy, can you imagine the reward for Jaylen Brown having the best year of his career and getting Finals votes is being traded to a team that's rebuilding?
No.
That'd be wild.
Yeah,
right?
I don't see it happening.
I don't see it either. Yeah, that'd be wild.
I'd be curious if you pulled the NBA.
So wait. If they're suitors, how are you making these contracts match up so that Giannis could be with Jaylen Brown and Tatum? How are you doing that?
Really tough.
You'd be surrounding with minimums. I mean, their next highest contract is Derek White at $30 million. Vucevic comes off the books at $21 million right now.
That's why Dan's right.
Well, theoretically, you could include him in a sign-and trade as a piece of this. Then you have Sam Hauser and Peyton Pritchard along with draft picks. So that right there is how you would make all of the money work, but then you would just be surrounding literally with minimum contracts.
That's a poo-poo platter.
But,
those players you just mentioned
but
for
if you
Giannis.
polled NBA teams, who would you rather have going from here on out, Jaylen Brown or Giannis?
I think it's
a 3-year age difference. Jaylen Brown's 29.
Guys, though, the thing that I'm doing, if you're making the Celtics suitors, I don't see how you can make them legitimate suitors where they'd go to the top of the list of getting a guy that everybody wants unless they give up one of those 2 players.
Yeah, you're right. You're right about that, but why would they?
Well, then they're not suitors.
No, but it could be what Jeremy said, where Boston believes they could get Vucevic to do a sign and trade, and then Derek White and Vucevic does make the deal work.
That's where I fall. I'm sure it's something that they're talking about internally. How do we pair these 3 guys? Is there any kind of way? What can we put together that doesn't have Brown or Tatum in it, but a lot of teams are having a lot of discussions, a lot of pie in the sky scenarios, and that's what this one seems like right now.
And Peyton Pritchard and Sam Hauser are two good young players. Pritchard in particular, by the way, and their view would be more likely than not, well, we could do that again. The same way the Heat have viewed it as like, oh, we can take this undrafted player and turn him into a role player. They view Peyton Pritchard as like, we've turned this guy into a really, really productive player. And Milwaukee would probably look at it as like, look, you're getting Derek White, you're getting Peyton Pritchard, and a boatload of picks. It might be a package they would consider, but I don't see Boston dismantling what they have right now as they continually are a perennial contender in that conference.
Agreed, and also that'd be an example of Boston using their assets and using their development to go out and get more assets and not just let them walk out the door for free.
Or do you do it with Tatum?
You could.
I don't believe Derek Wright and Pritchard. They've got young pieces. They've got improved pieces. They have draft picks. They have some of the things that you need. You think that Pritchard, Derek White is enough to land you a Giannis?
No, but I don't doubt that they're talking about that, and they don't doubt that makes him a contender here. But with Tatum, the same question applies. You poll the NBA, who would you rather have from here on out? Tatum or Giannis. I don't know if that goes Giannis's way.
I don't have it in front of me. I mean, I could find it, what Boston's draft pick treasure chest is, but it works in the trade machine. Antetokounmpo for Derek White, Sam Hauser, Peyton Pritchard. That works.
Can't the Knicks or the Heat make a better offer than that?
Not the Knicks. They don't have any draft picks they could trade.
No first?
No.
They gave them all. They gave 5 of them up for Mikal Bridges.
But if he, you know how it works nowadays in the NBA. If Giannis wants to go to the Knicks, there's got to be a way to make it work.
No, because he did, and they haven't.
Most people would say, though, Derek White and Pritchard, that's better than Tyler Hero and Khalil Ware.
I think when we're talking about this, like, we have to take into consideration. I don't know that it is because Ware's such a project as a young player.
Derek White's
no,
good.
Derek White's
good,
a
but he's
great
also
player.
older.
Yeah, but come on.
Yes, and Pritchard is your young piece, and then you're getting however many first-round picks. I think that when we take all of it into consideration, we're doing the Giannis from scratch thing. And the reality is unless he's willing to guarantee he would sign an extension anywhere, Milwaukee has really shot themselves in the foot when it comes to dealing Giannis. They thought, we're going to get a much bigger package come the offseason. But if everyone knows he wants out and there's 1 year left on his deal, that is the situation that Greg is talking about, which the player actually has some semblance of control.
But you guys are making this about Giannis. I understand why you would do this. The more interesting part to me is Sam Amick reporting, and he's credible, that the Celtics aren't good with good enough. Like, the idea that they are still sniffing around something like this after they did a couple of moves in Drew Holiday and Porzingis that made them a 65-win team. Those are accents because you've already built your team. If you add Giannis, you turn the Boston Celtics into a thing that shoots to the top of the sport in a way that's vastly more interesting than they already are as a tradition-rich franchise. If they do something like this, because I was surprised to read this report, it is aggressive when you're already plenty good enough. I believe I know that the rest of you saw that Tatum got hurt and then said to me, look, Dan, they were going to get knocked out by the Knicks there anyway. The last 2 seasons of Celtics basketball, when they're healthy, are championship good seasons when they're healthy. Like, they are good enough to beat OKC. We have not seen OKC tested by a team that's as formidable as the one that shoots threes. If you go to Giannis, you're suddenly doing something that's old school basketball, which is, of course, get the most talented guy, get the best player, figure it out after that. But the way they've been playing for several seasons is we win 65 games because we shoot 53s, and we're going to, in a 7-game series, make more of those than you are.
Not only that, they're living in an alternate timeline right now because this season for the Boston Celtics was not supposed to be where they are, right? Jayson Tatum's out with an Achilles injury. We don't know when we're going to see him again. Jaylen Brown, is he going to be a number one guy? They struggled a little bit out the gate, and they've been a great team. And that's been, byproduct of the coaching by Joe Mazzulla. We asked, is he a good coach? Is he not a good coach? I think this year proves he's a actually very good coach. But with that, they're looking around saying, wait a second, we thought we were going to be in the lottery this season, and we're one of the favorites in the Eastern Conference. And if everything goes the right way, like we could contend in the West in the NBA championship, completely changes what their timeline was for the next couple of years. Why not go get Giannis?
Am I somebody who is being silly when I say the Boston Celtics this year, to me, the most surprising team in the league?
I'd say Detroit. Detroit's been best in the East all season.
Yeah, but Detroit.
What's happened with Atlanta this season has been fascinating.
Both good choices, and you're both right. But Detroit was plenty good last season, and this is kind of how a young team improves. I thought the Celtics weren't going to be competitive this season. Never mind another 50-win season for them. They didn't have Tatum all season, and when they lost him in the playoffs last year, they immediately put down their sword. Like they got.
It was over. It was over.
Yeah.
But they lost that last game of their season by 35 points when I thought that the difference between the Celtics and the rest of the league when they had Tatum, to me, I thought that just having Jaylen Brown and Derek Wright and all of those ancillary pieces, I thought that would be pretty good in the playoffs, and they immediately caved. But when they had a season together, how much better are the Celtics this year than you thought that they were going to be? How much better, for all that Atlanta and Detroit have improved, I believe most of the people listening to this thought that this was not going to be something that the Celtics were going to be able to overcome, the Tatum injury.
They're 54-25. If you would have told me at the beginning of the season, hey, the Celtics are going to be the number 2 seed and steamroll people, and Jayson Tatum's going to come back from an Achilles injury in less than a year, have triple-doubles, have 30-point games, have games of 18 rebounds, I'd be like, there's no way. Like, what did they do to keep themselves afloat? MVP season from Jaylen Brown that he's not going to get love
and their point differential. Like, they're slaughtering people. It's not just that they're winning.
That's the Celtics math, though. Like, they hit threes, they're going to beat you by 30.
When they take the lead, that's what ends up happening. And the only other team that is close to as surprising is the Clippers, who started 6-21, and then Ty Lue said, my goal is for us to go 35-20 the rest of the way. They've gone 35-17 since. It's pretty unbelievable.
Yeah, but the Clippers are where I would have slated them before the season in terms of number of wins.
Well, I don't know. You were a big Clippers guy last year, Dan.
Or more. This
Clippers.
record might be disappointing given where I thought the Clippers were going to be. I still would put the Celtics in any conversation that we're having about most surprising teams.